everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree neutral love wreath. Again, these don't have to all be for Valentine's Day. We're going to use a heart-shaped wreath form. I was gifted 20 of these, so you'll see them a lot. We're also going to use some mop string. It's just about one mop string, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit. And then we're just going to use some fabric, and I'm using the fabric that's the back of one of these treat bags. I have a video coming up where we made a banner, and I had one back left over. And then we're going to use some cotton twine. Now to get started, we're going to start with some of the mop string. If you have not ever taken a mop apart, it's super easy. I have a video on my channel that I can show you how to do it. I'm going to link in the description box down below in case, but there's just a black clip that holds all the string in. You just pop it off and all the string comes out. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start making sort of like 2 half loops in the middle. We're going to go from the middle to the point, and we're going to use glue on each time it touches the metal. And we're just going to do that because at the very point the yarn will want to kind of go up, so you just want to make sure you hold it there really well. And then we're going to make full circles. So what I want to just say that I'm going to use the term half circle, full circle, because we're going to do this throughout every time we go around a curve as well. But what we're doing is we're creating 2 half circles in the very middle, and then we're going to create 2 full circles next to that, and then just repeat that. The reason we're doing this is because otherwise there would be this big bulky mess at the bottom trying to cover all of that area. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 half circles, and then we're going to fill in, and then wherever there's 2 full circles above 2 half circles that kind of leave a gap, we're just going to throw some hot glue between the yarn, and we're going to squeeze them together. And again, I will be calling this yarn, this mop string, I'll be referring to it as yarn as well. But you can see there what I'm saying. It's kind of like you're going to go halfway, and then you're going to go all the way, and then you're going to go, what I'm doing is I'm doing some to the left and some to the right, and that's just again to keep the bulk out of that bottom of the wreath. Okay, and you can see when it's all coming together that it does really look like really well covered, and it looks very, very nice, in my opinion anyway. The back, on the other hand, hot mess, but you don't look at the back. Don't look at the back. Again, like any wreath, if you have this going up against a glass door, you want to go ahead and finish the back. You can cover it with any kind of fabric if you want to. That would look lovely, or whatever you feel that you can do to go with your decor. Okay. Now, once we have the very point done, we're going to go ahead and just wrap up the straight sides. The straight sides are pretty easy, but I will tell you now that with the cotton mop, the strings aren't very long. They're probably about 12 to 15 inches. So you're either going to have to like end them strategically, or you're going to have to learn to attach the end of one to the beginning of the next one very discreetly. And I'm going to do both of those things so that you can see. I say discreetly as you really can't tell is what I'm saying. Because they're very, very soft and fibrous on the end, they kind of do meld into each other very well. Okay. Now I will show you the slower down here, because I will show you that it as the wreath gets wider around the curves, instead of getting like 2 full circles or 3 full circles around, what we're going to end up doing is doing like 2 circles and a half, and we're going to end that at the midpoint. We want to start at the widest point. You always want to start your string at the widest point, and then you're going to wrap it around 2 times and then end it at that midpoint. And we're doing this again because it's going to be wider on the outside, and we want to add some bulk to the outside without adding too much bulk on the inside. But you see, I'm not gluing the strings the whole way. I'm not gluing each time I go around. I'm not gluing it to the wire. Just at the beginning, at the end of each string is where you need to glue. Okay? And I hope that that made a little sense, and that you could see what I'm doing, that it makes a little sense. But, and again, the back, don't worry about what the back looks like. At any time that you have 2 full loops going over a half loop, then you want to go ahead, when you're done, add a little hot glue between them and pinch them close together. And I'll show you that here in a second, I believe. Yeah, so after I'm done putting that half loop around, and then I take with my other thumb, you see that? I'm taking the other, and I'm kind of just closing that little gap. And you can see it's barely noticeable. All right, and even when it was noticeable, it wasn't objectionable. It's just showing you, if you find it objectionable, how to close it. Okay? And now I did want to leave this at a slower speed so that you guys could really see what I'm doing. And it just gets repetitive as the curve goes. It goes wider and then narrower again towards the peak. So you will eventually start getting full circles around. Once you start getting full circles around, then you go ahead and continue with full circles, okay? Just sort of like how we did in the beginning. All right. But what I'm doing is I'm adding a little hot glue to the wire, and then I'm taking the very end of the string and I'm pinching it around the wire. So I'm technically gluing the string to the string and to the wire at the same time. All right, and that's just going to give me extra security, because when you want to do this wreath, you really want to pull on that string really, really well. Okay. Now I just love the way this turned out with this natural cotton. I love this cotton mop head string. I mean, I feel like it's the find of the century. But I just really do love it, and I really do love the texture and the neutrality of it. It just is so pretty and soft. That was the thing too. It was just so soft. Now, if you saw on the thumbnail, I did not embellish it very much because I wanted to keep sort of a blank slate for you guys to do some embellishments yourself. Okay? Now, to deal with the top peak, it's not the same as we're dealing with the bottom peak. We're just going to continue to make the string straight. And it's going to go from the inside top point to the inside bottom point. And it's just going to go straight lines, basically. If I was looking at the wreath or the heart straight up and down, it's going to be perpendicular to the floor. It's just going to be a bunch of straight rows next to each other. Because we're kind of compensating the curve over by the humps. And then once you have that done, you can go ahead and you can continue around if you want to. But I just found it easier for me being a righty or being crazy. I don't really know why. But I started back at the bottom and I just continued back up towards the top. And I repeated every single step on the same side. And I don't mean like every single one. Like I didn't count that I wrapped it 12 times and then I did a half wrap. I just meant as I started to get wider, I used the half wrap. The half loop, double loop, sort of method. Okay. Now, the fabric that I'm using is just like I said, a scrap left over from the little treat bags. If you can't find that, you really can use anything. Felt would be really cute. Black and white check would be really cute. There's just like I feel like the possibilities are endless. As far as how you want to embellish these. Now, that being said, I will show you a couple of different varieties, just quick ones of what different pieces of material look like up against this wreath. I will tell you that we've done lots of the fabric or paper hearts, paper flowers, excuse me, on our channel where you do like you cut the spiral out. But I did make one out of the red heart that stiff felt. It is really, really tiny, and you will see me hold it up against the wreath just to give you an idea. If you guys are interested in seeing that clip of video, it's going to be in a wreath video in a couple of days. So I'll make sure to check out the Valentine's Day playlist for any of your Valentine's Day DIYs or any of your love DIYs. Now, I like to call them love DIYs instead of Valentine DIYs because these are also really good DIYs to do if anybody's getting married, if anybody's getting engaged, anybody who's in love, anybody who wants to be in love, anybody who loves love. I love love. Yeah, that's why. So again, I just wanted to slow down here and to show you really, really detailed of how the second bow comes together and also how to close up those holes. Okay. Now I mentioned in the beginning, I started to mention in the beginning, or I thought about I was going to mention in the beginning. I don't know exactly how many mop heads you'll need for this project. I basically, every time I do a project, if whatever strings are left over, I put them on a ball, like I kind of make like a yarn ball out of them. And I had a yarn ball before I did the gnome door hanger, and then I added some more to the gnome door hanger. So you may need more than one mop for this, but even if you use the more than one mop, it's really only just then a $3 project. If you had to buy 2 mop strings and the wreath form, it would only be $3 for this really beautiful wreath, plus scrap fabrics. Now, if you have yarn like this, some people do have like that bulky yarn. You can go ahead and use that. It doesn't have to be this mop. It's just that this mop is, like I said, it's really inexpensive. You get a lot of yarn off of it or string off of it. Plus, you get to use the mop handle for some other DIYs, which is really makes it even more convenient and economical. All right. And now I could show you here a little bit better how we just ended it. We basically are just going to go straight around, and I'm moving, squishing whatever string together that I need to make it fit better. Okay. And now that the actual wreath is finished, we can go ahead and work on the embellishments. Now again, how you want to embellish this is entirely up to you. We're going to make a small banner with the word love on it. We made small banners on the channel before as well when we made Luna's milestone blanket. We made the little wreath with her name in it, and it's sort of the same technique. But with this back of this treat bag already has a pocket at the top because there was a string. So what I did was I folded it in thirds and then got 3 pieces out of it. And then I took one of, basically it was the smallest, the thinnest piece, and I used it to cut the other pieces down. And then I used a piece of the scrap fabric that was left over from the bottom to just make a 4th banner. Now, what I did to show you guys how to get the proper measurements for the 4th banner is I took the one that I used and I opened up the seam and I made it sort of long. You don't have to do this if you have more scraps or whatever. This is just to help get the proper size. Okay. So once I opened up the seam, I know exactly how much I needed to cut off and to get that fold over as well. All right. Now I'm just going to use the hot glue basically for closing up that pocket again. And I'm just going to use the sample to go ahead and match up how much I need to fold over for the next one. All right. And now you have 4 little banners. Aren't they cute? I'm just taking a regular Sharpie and I'm just creating long, thin letters. You can do, not necessarily trying to be redone. I just thought the long letters would look cute on this shape banner. And now I'm taking some cotton twine. I'm going to put a piece of wire, like a scrap piece of wire, I'm going to use to kind of create a needle. I basically took the bottom of the wire and I twisted it around the string, just like you would a needle, almost threaded through. Then I took the top and I folded it over so it wasn't sharp. A sharp wire will poke through this banner, so be mindful of that. And then I just pulled it through. We have lots of ways we made needles before too, you know, with skewers and pencils and all the things. All right, and now you just want to measure where you want it to hang, how you want it to hang. This would look really cute if it was hung on an angle. I think we made Luna's hung on an angle, but we're just going to make this one hanging straight across. And what I did was I tried to use like the wreath for measurement. So there's the little flower that we made out of the felt heart. And then I'll show you can use natural burlap or you can use buffalo check. All of that stuff would look really cute with this natural wreath. But what we decided to do is to take 3 more strands of the mop thread yarn. I forgot the name of it all of a sudden. And we're going to braid it. And then we're just going to glue the ends together. We started with 3 ends glued. We're going to end with 3 ends glued. I want to show you if you wrap it, it does come like a cute flower, but we're just made it for a hanger. And then we're just going to make sure we're gluing them again in the same spots. So it hangs evenly. Okay. Now this would look really cute with a bow, like I said, with the flowers, anything else you wanted to do to embellishment, but I just left it plain. I absolutely love it. It's so natural and farmhouse and fresh, and like I feel like it feels modern too, even though it feels old and rustic. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family. Anybody who's interested in making this or seeing any Wreath Week. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe. When you do, a little bell will pop up. When you're ringing that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.